Hello and welcome to Ron Coleman Dementing Disgracefully. Today I have with me as my guest my wife, Karen Taylor. As I said earlier in my email and Facebook message, she was the only person that would agree to come and speak to me. I want to start though by reading a piece of poetry that I've written. This has been a really strange year with a lot of famous people dying over the last 12 months, and in a sense it made me think about my future, and so this is called Memories Missing. Memories missing, rarely reminiscing, lay lady lay, lost lover, lost once more. Bob Dylan's born anew, John Lennon's stuck here too. So I return to my safe place called chance. Then I open the old style door to find Bowie on the floor, who looks at me and whispers, "Come on, let's dance." I'm dragged fiercely from that place, then brought back to face my face. "Who are you?" I ask for the 20th time today. "Well, I am fire," is Cone's reply, and for the 20th time that day, I cry. Well, Karen, you've had the unfortunate experience, I guess, of being with me for near 20 years now, and one of the things I really wanted to ask was, how did you find it when you discovered that my memory was beginning to slip?
It's weird because I knew things weren't right, but I didn't know what was right, and just odd ways that you were behaving or answering things or getting angry over little things. I was very confused by what was going on. So when finally started to put the pieces together and think, shit, it's your memory. And I suppose at the beginning it doesn't sink in. You're sort of, it's very close to the surface. So, right, Ron's got some memory problems. And then I start thinking, shit, I was a dementia nurse. I know what comes next. I know where this is leading to, possibly. So I suppose the process or the place I am at the moment is a mixture of denial and acceptance. So, some days I deny it's happening to myself, and other days I accept it that it's happening. But at the same time, I'm reading, looking around, I'm trying to do everything, like, helping change your diet and all those kind of things, nagging you to walk, all the things that research shows makes a difference. So I suppose, there's that bit of me that's like determined to beat the odds, I suppose. But at the same time, I suppose, I'm angry. I'm angry that it's come to this. I'm angry for maybe decisions that I've made in the past that have led to this. I'm angry that, you have such an amazing mind, and, I'm angry if that gets lost too soon. You're 59, it's far too young to be going through this.
All that aside, and what impact is it having on the family?
I don't think it's not having a huge impact, or not outwardly at the moment. I think the kids are brooding on it, they know about it, and it was like yesterday, when Rory got a bit angry, he immediately went to, it's your memory's fault, sort of thing. But then underneath I know he's also hurting, I suppose, because he knows that that's happening to you. Francesca, I think, understands that, but doesn't understand because she's 14. I find it difficult because, if I ask you something and you can't remember, my instant reaction is to get angry and to sort of like lash out a bit. And then, and then feel really guilty because, of course, you can't remember because it's gone. And I should know better because, I'm a psychiatric nurse and I used to look after people with dementia. And we don't even know yet whether it is dementia. So that's the other thing. It's it's at the moment it's mild memory. It's memory problems. But at the same time, I realised that as well that I've always been the person that does things around the house more and whatever. But I realise now I'm more and more taking over things and like watching you if you're doing something, and then I'm wondering, now I'm guilty. Am I doing that too much, or do I need to do it? And I suppose the answer is probably yes at times, and probably no at others, and it's not knowing when those right times are, if that makes sense. So, will you remember to switch the cooker off? Will you remember to stop something before it burns? Can you still remember how to do something? And yeah, I suppose it's trusting. It's that trust, isn't it?
So, in a sense, the impact goes way beyond me. It's going to affect everything around us as much as it affects me.
I suppose, if you'd asked a different question, how is my memory problems affecting our lifestyle and our work, then I would say enormously already, in terms of our income and where we're going to live and how we're going to live and our standard of living, all that thing, is quite fearful because, we haven't got big insurance plans or big pensions or any of the things that buffer people. And I fiercely want to work. At 55, I feel I'm coming to my peak of beginning to understand my work and working with people with voices and all that stuff. And I love training and I love being out there. And so, if you wanted to ask me really personally how I feel, there's, to a certain level, there's a frustration because because you're going to need me much more. And I suppose in the same way sometimes I used to feel frustrated with the kids. I've got to make choices about where I need to be. And half of me knows that I want to be here and with you and the kids and going through it, but the other half wants to run away and be doing training and doing all the things that I've done for the last 20 years and love, I suppose. And it's how to get the balance of that right and earn enough money so that we can still afford good food on the table and things, but not take it so far that I'm not here to support you physically and emotionally and the kids.
And I guess my last question for today is when we talk about at the beginning and at the top of the show here, I introduced it as Ron Coleman Dementing Disgracefully, which is my sort of attempt to really kick back at it. But the reality is, for us, it's about trying to find a way of defeating dementia.
Yeah, and you've nicked that from the feminist movement of women growing old disgracefully, but I'll let you off. Yeah, I do believe strongly that we can put strategies in place that help you keep going longer. I mean, the thing I noticed already is that, okay, your day-to-day memories are affected in that, but your intellect in, still being able to read stuff, write, make the poetry, it's like that section of the brain is totally and absolutely sort of even functioning better in a way than it has done for a long time. And I think that may be because you've got more space, you're not rushing around doing training and things, so you've actually had more time to reflect and think on stuff. And you're already doing loads of reading around it. So I think, and I'm really curious as to how it's going to work out dialoguing with with your voices and teacher and, finding ways that we keep Ron, if that makes sense. But, the other thing is, I know, like, dementia even if it is dementia, you know, for some people it's like a 20, 30-year journey. You know, it's just, the thing is with you is like, how strong is your heart? How strong is, you know, the other, you know, because you've had so many heart problems and that kind of thing as well, isn't it? So it's all mixed up together, if you know what I mean. It's, you know, you know that I when I first married you, I thought I had you probably for about, I don't know, 15, 20 years max, because you were on a road to burnout, you know, with it was like your rock and roll life, you know, you didn't need to live till you were ancient sort of thing and you were younger. And, you know, when you had the heart bypass, it was weird because at the time I was thinking, you know, okay, Ron's, I'm not going to be with Ron when we're old. But then the heart bypass and then sort of the changes you made over the last 4 years in particular, like giving up drink and stopping smoking, I was suddenly thinking, wow, we are going to go into old age together. And we started making plans about, you know, using the camper van and going on trips around Europe and, you know, finding work in places as we're going around just to keep us going stuff. So the moment I'm thinking, oh, is that dream possible still, or is that dream going to die, or, you know, is that exactly the kind of thing that will help keep you going and your memory going? Because I don't think it's going to be right for you to just hide away here all the time. I think you're going to need stimulation, and, you know, stimulation of other people and intellects, and you know, still being Ron Coleman, and part of that is training and talking. Or maybe it isn't. Maybe that's just my, you know, my hope. Maybe it is that you need to stop other things completely and do the other things that you want to do, like, you know, carve stone and, you know, sit and make things and be creative. And maybe, you know, I need to let go the Ron Coleman trainer, consultant, expert on voices, and let you be Ron Coleman, stonemaker, poetry writer, fiction storyteller, which is your other passion, you know. So it to me, I suppose what we're going through is like a huge transition, a huge change. And maybe that, you know, and in doing that, maybe that gives me an opportunity to do something different, you know. If we get the funds together so I can do that spiritual course, spiritual companions course, maybe it's also time for me to go on, you know, a different direction, because it's bloody exhausting, isn't it? Sort of, well, it's been really, really exhausting the last 19 years of continually on the roll, continually fighting, continually saying things as it is, and people not getting it. And, you know, sometimes you feel, am I banging my head against a brick wall? When are people going to really understand the links between voices and trauma, and voices and spirituality, and voices and, you know, who you are?
Thanks for that, Karen. This is the first time I've ever interviewed you, so it's quite a weird experience. And also, I think it's the first time you've had the opportunity really to say a lot of the things that you're thinking about where we're going. So thanks for that, and I'm sure we'll come back to this at some point in the future. As you said, the Women Growing Old Disgracefully was long before my Dementing Disgracefully, so maybe we can just do it together, disgracefully.